Hello everyone, this is another video to review how we label and write triads. So this is going to be part of standard 5. It's talking about triads. Okay, and you can follow along in our Open Music Theory online textbook. Okay, and I'll be going over how we tell the difference between different types of triads. Okay, so first of all, just wanted to review what a triad is. A triad is a type of chord. A chord is any combination of 3 or more pitches that sound simultaneously. So we're playing all 3 pitches at once. And a triad is a specific kind of chord. It's a 3-note chord whose pitches can be arranged in a series of thirds. Okay. So for example, if I have a staff paper here, and I have let's put a clef on this. So we're going to say this is treble clef, right? And I'm going to just write down 3 notes: C, E, and G. The way we can tell whether a chord it's a triad, okay, we can figure out whether it's arranged in a series of thirds. And the easiest way to do that is to take a look at the circle of thirds. Okay, it's a little big for the camera, but you can see that all the letters here are arranged in thirds. So you can start anywhere in the circle and keep going clockwise, and you'll see that they're all in thirds. The third is a description of the size of an interval, if you recall from the previous standard. And to find the size, we're counting up the steps of the musical alphabet. Okay, so this is the same thing, only we're skipping. Essentially, we're skipping a letter at every turn of the circle, right? A to C to E. Now, if we just find these 3 notes on the circle of thirds, we'll find that they're here, C, E, and G. And whenever we find 3 notes that are next to each other, okay, in succession on the circle of thirds, then this is a triad. This circle is also useful for us to figure out the different members of the triad, okay, because each one has a specific name. Regardless of what kind of triad it is, a triad will always have a root, a third, and a fifth. Right? And how do you tell what the root is? Well, once you put the letter names, oh, by the way, at this point, it doesn't really matter what the sharps or flats are. We're just looking at the letter names at this point. Okay? Once you put the letter names here, you circled it on the circle of thirds, okay, you'll see that, again, they line up all together on one continuous sort of link on one side of the circle, right? And the way that you find the roots, okay, and if you think about this as a clock, you're looking at the earliest letter, okay? So if you sort of go counterclockwise, so the clock is going backwards in time, going earlier and earlier. So the earliest here, again, if this were a clock, okay, would be C. So C is here, the root. And then I'm going to go clockwise here. So E is what we kind of call the third of the triad, and the G is the fifth of the triad. Root, third, and fifth. Okay. I'll refer to these 3 names as we keep going with the types of triads that we're going over. Okay. Now, basically, there are 4 types of triads, okay, and the definitions of these triads are posted under section 5.22 of the textbook. The 4 types are major triad, minor triad, diminished triad, and augmented triad. And how do we build these triads depends on intervals, the intervals that we're going to use above the roots, okay. Now, let's take a look at this triad first. Okay, this is C, E, and G. Let's label this as either a major, minor, diminished, and augmented. The way to do this, okay, after you figure out the roots here, okay, you're going to analyze the interval between the root and the third, and then also the root and the fifth. Okay, so the root and the third here is a major third between C and E, and between the root and the fifth, that's a perfect fifth. And if you go to our chart that describes what a major, minor, diminished, augmented triads are, you'll find that a major triad has the major third above the root, and also a perfect fifth above the root. So this is an example of a C major triad. Okay. So again, this is how we're going to tell how we're going to label these triads. We start with the root name, so that's C. Right? So I'm naming this, and if this were C sharp, you would write C sharp. Right? So the whole name of the note. Right? And then the quality. Okay, this is what we're going to call the quality. So this is a major triad. So this whole name for this triad is C major triad.